Have you ever pictured yourself alone during a heart attack, with every second ticking away? It's scarier than you think, especially after 60, and those first minutes can decide life or death. We're here to empower you. Learn the subtle signs and solo survival steps that matter most. In this video, discover 7 simple, no-equipment-needed tips to take charge if it hits at home. Stick around. The last ones are game changers for your peace of mind. Face this fear? Comment "Yes" below. You're not alone. Let's dive in. Number 1. Recognizing the earliest warning signs. Now, the first mistake many folks make, and it's an easy one to fall into, is believing a heart attack always looks like something out of a Hollywood movie. That sudden, dramatic chest clutch and collapse. The truth is, that's rarely how it plays out in real life, especially for us older adults. Too often, I've seen patients brush off subtle signals, thinking it's just a little indigestion, a bout of stress, or maybe just feeling tired. And that, my friends, can be a dangerous gamble. You see, your body is a magnificent machine, and it often sends out whispers of warning long before it screams for help. When it comes to your heart, these whispers can come in many forms, and they don't always center right on your chest. Of course, the classic sign is often a deep, uncomfortable pressure, or a squeezing feeling in the middle of your chest. It might not be a sharp pain, but more like a heavy weight pressing down, or as if your chest is slowly filling with something dense and unyielding. This feeling might stick around for a few minutes, or it could come and go in waves, making it easy to think, "Oh, it's nothing." But if that pressure lasts more than a few minutes, or keeps returning, it's a giant red flag. A big red flag. But here's the kicker, and this is where it gets tricky for us as we age. These symptoms can pop up all over. You might experience shortness of breath, feeling winded even when you're just sitting down, as if you've just sprinted up a flight of stairs. Or perhaps you feel pain or discomfort radiating into your arms, often the left, but sometimes the right, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, or even your upper back. This pain isn't always sharp. It can be a dull ache, a burning sensation, or just a fleeting discomfort that you might ignore. And then there are the even sneakier signs. Lightheadedness, dizziness, a sudden unsettling sense that something is just plain wrong, or a cold, clammy sweat that has nothing to do with how warm the room is. Many of my female patients, and older adults generally, tell me they felt nauseous, had some vomiting, or just a vague discomfort in their abdomen, almost like a bad upset stomach, rather than classic chest pain. It's why we geriatricians often tell you to trust your gut feeling, even when the symptoms seem mild. That's exactly what happened to Robert, one of my patients, a retired gentleman of 74. One quiet morning, sipping his coffee at the kitchen table, he noticed an unusual tightness just below his collarbone. It felt a bit like heartburn, he told me. But it was just different. It lingered. Moments later, taking a deep breath felt like a real effort, and his palms suddenly turned cold and clammy. Now, Robert, being a smart fellow, had once read an article about how heart attacks can present themselves in such varied ways. He fought that urge to just dismiss it as indigestion or being a little under the weather. Instead, he listened to those whispers from his body and took action. And let me tell you, that decision likely saved his life. His story is a powerful reminder that your body will signal danger. Those subtle hints are your precious window to intervene before serious, irreversible damage happens. Waiting for that dramatic movie moment is simply too risky for your heart. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you, for your valuable time. Number 2. Calling emergency services immediately. Once that little voice inside you whispers or even shouts that you might be having a heart attack, your absolute next step, without a moment's hesitation, is to call 911, your local emergency services number. This isn't a suggestion, my friends. It's non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if you're 100% certain it's a heart attack, or if you just have a gut feeling. Make that call. Please, for your own sake, do not wait around to see if your symptoms miraculously disappear. Do not, under any circumstances, try to drive yourself to the hospital. And definitely don't waste a precious second worrying that you might be overreacting. In a heart attack, every single second counts, and calling for professional help is the most effective thing you can do to maximize your chances of survival and keep enjoying your independent life. Let me explain why this is so critical. A heart attack happens when the blood flow to a part of your heart muscle gets blocked, cutting off its vital oxygen supply. The longer that blockage persists, the more extensive and, sadly, the more irreversible the damage becomes. By dialing 911 immediately, you're not just calling for a ride. You're activating a whole chain of life-saving interventions. Our incredible emergency medical services, or EMS personnel, are trained to respond with lightning speed. They arrive with critical equipment, things like defibrillators, oxygen, and powerful medications like aspirin or nitroglycerin that can stabilize your condition right there on the spot. They can even perform CPR or use a defibrillator if your heart decides to give out on the way to the hospital. Trying to drive yourself to the hospital is, hands down, one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make. If your symptoms suddenly get worse, which they often do, you could lose consciousness. Think about the danger that puts you and everyone else on the road. Similarly, asking a loving family member or a dear friend to drive you, while well-intentioned, could actually delay the care you need. They simply can't provide the same medical interventions that an ambulance crew can. EMS teams, on the other hand, start treating you the moment they reach you. They literally bring the emergency room to your doorstep. What's more, they alert the hospital in advance, ensuring that a specialized cardiac team is ready and waiting for you the moment you arrive. That foresight can shave precious minutes off your treatment time. And in a heart attack, minutes are lives. I remember Patricia, a wonderful 78-year-old widow who lived alone. One evening, she felt this peculiar ache in her left shoulder, followed by a wave of nausea and a cold, clammy sweat. Her first thought was to call her son for advice. But then, she remembered the emphatic advice of her nurse, a wonderful woman who always stressed, "If you're alone and think you might be having a heart attack, call 911 first. You can call your family after help is on the way." Patricia listened. She dialed 911. By the time the ambulance pulled up, her symptoms had indeed intensified. More chest pressure, more difficulty breathing. But because she called so quickly, the EMS team was able to administer oxygen and medications, stabilizing her condition before they even left her driveway. That single, unhesitating phone call made all the difference between life and death for Patricia. You truly don't need absolute certainty to justify calling emergency services. Our EMS dispatchers and paramedics are trained to handle uncertainty. They would much rather respond to a false alarm than miss a chance to save a life. If your symptoms make it hard for you to speak clearly, most modern smartphones have an emergency call feature that you can activate even from a locked screen. Take a moment to learn how to use it now, and make sure your phone is always within reach, especially if you live alone or have any heart disease risk factors. Some phones even let you store emergency medical information, like pre-existing conditions or medications, which can be incredibly helpful for responders. As a further step, consider keeping a simple list of emergency contacts and your basic medical history near your phone or in a highly visible spot, like on your refrigerator, where EMS personnel can easily find it. If you live in an apartment building or a gated community, make sure you can give clear instructions to the dispatcher or have a neighbor ready to assist with access. The whole goal here is to remove any barriers to getting you prompt, life-saving care. Ultimately, calling 911 isn't just about getting help. It's about giving yourself the absolute best chance to survive a heart attack and continue living your full, healthy life. Act decisively, trust your gut, and let those trained professionals take over. Your quick response could truly mean the difference between a full recovery and a tragic outcome. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment numbered pernen or tidanan kadun no number 2 sanantund wanbetown feed below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 3. Chewing an aspirin. Slowly and calmly. In those critical moments, right after you suspect a heart attack, after you've already called 911, of course, there's another incredibly effective, yet wonderfully simple and accessible action you can take. Chew an aspirin. This isn't about just gulping down a pill in a hurry. Oh no. It's about carefully chewing it, slowly and methodically, even if your hands are trembling and your mind is racing with fear. If you have a standard 325 milligram aspirin tablet available and you are not allergic to aspirin or taking strong blood thinners that your doctor has warned you about, this single deliberate act can truly, dramatically improve your chances of surviving a heart attack and minimizing any long-term damage to that precious heart of yours. It's a low-cost, high-impact step, my friends, that can absolutely make a real difference. The incredible power of aspirin in this terrifying scenario lies in its ability to act as a blood thinner. You see, during a heart attack, what often happens is that a blood clot forms. This clot then obstructs one of the coronary arteries, those vital pipelines that deliver oxygen-rich blood to your heart muscle. That blockage is the root cause of the whole problem, literally starving your heart of oxygen and causing tissue damage. By chewing an aspirin, you allow its active ingredient, acetylsalicylic acid, to get into your bloodstream much, much faster than if you just swallowed it whole. Chewing breaks that tablet into tiny particles, letting it dissolve and absorb quickly through the delicate mucous membranes in your mouth and stomach. Scientific studies, real medical science, have clearly shown that this method can start thinning your blood within minutes. This rapid action can potentially slow down or even prevent further clot growth, and in some cases it can even restore a bit of blood flow to the heart muscle, buying you precious time until the paramedics arrive with their advanced interventions. To get the most out of this step, it's best to use uncoated, immediate-release aspirin if you have it. Those coated or delayed-release aspirin tablets, while good for protecting your tummy, take longer to break down and absorb, and in a heart attack, speed is everything. But if all you have is a coated tablet, chew it anyway. Remember, speed is paramount. Now, ideally, we usually tell you to avoid aspirin on an empty stomach to reduce stomach irritation. But during a heart attack, the immediate threat of that blood clot far outweighs that concern. Always talk to your doctor beforehand to confirm that aspirin is safe for you, especially if you have a history of bleeding disorders, stomach ulcers, or if you're already on medications like warfarin or other anticoagulants. Let me tell you about Gary, a 72-year-old retired gentleman who experienced a heart attack one quiet morning. As he sat at his kitchen table, a sudden, powerful tightness gripped his chest, a feeling that radiated all the way up to his neck and jaw. Despite the rising panic, Gary remembered a conversation he had with his doctor about aspirin's role in heart attack survival. He shuffled quickly to his kitchen cabinet, grabbed a bottle of 325 milligram aspirin, and, just as he'd been advised, he chewed one tablet slowly, while sitting as calmly as he could, waiting for the ambulance he had already called. Later, at the hospital, his cardiologist explained that this simple, informed action likely reduced the extent of the clot in his coronary artery, significantly limiting the damage to his heart muscle. Gary's story highlights the profound impact a small, informed decision can have in a moment of true crisis. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 4. Sitting or lying down to protect your heart. Once you've done the crucial work of calling emergency services and chewing your aspirin, your very next priority, my friends, is to protect your heart by minimizing its workload. This means stopping all physical activity immediately. You need to position yourself in a way that conserves every ounce of your energy and optimizes blood flow. Sit down or lie down in the safest, most comfortable position you can manage, and actively resist any urge to move unnecessarily. This is absolutely not the time to pace anxiously, to tidy up your living room, to gather personal belongings, or to unlock doors unless it's strictly essential for paramedics to get to you. Every single step, every little exertion increases the demand on your heart, which is already struggling mightily to pump blood effectively because of reduced oxygen supply. Staying still is a simple, no-cost way to give your heart a much-needed break. The ideal position? Well, if you can, sit with your back well supported against a wall, a sturdy chair, or even your headboard. Keep your feet flat on the ground and your arms resting loosely at your sides or on your lap. This posture works to reduce the gravitational strain on your cardiovascular system, allowing your heart to pump blood with less effort. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed and your breathing steady so you don't inadvertently tense up your muscles, which can actually raise your blood pressure even more. Now, if you start feeling faint, dizzy, or lightheaded, which are common, though unsettling symptoms during a heart attack, it's best to lie down on your side. Your left side is often preferred, with your head slightly elevated on a pillow or some folded clothing. This position is smart because it helps maintain blood flow to your brain and heart, while also reducing the risk of choking if you happen to become nauseous or lose consciousness. Just try to avoid lying flat on your back unless the emergency personnel tell you to, as that can sometimes make breathing even more difficult. It's completely natural in these frightening moments to feel a mix of embarrassment, denial, or even a bit of guilt. Many people hesitate to do nothing after calling for help, worried that they're overreacting or being a burden. But please believe me when I say, in the context of a heart attack, doing nothing is a powerful act of self-preservation. By remaining still, you effectively lower your heart rate. You reduce the oxygen your heart is demanding, and you give your entire body a fighting chance to stabilize. This intentional stillness can prevent your symptoms from getting worse, and in some crucial cases, it might even stop things from progressing to a full cardiac arrest. Let me tell you about Carol, a resilient 81-year-old grandmother who experienced a heart attack while doing something as ordinary as preparing breakfast. As a heavy pressure spread across her chest, accompanied by a cold, clammy sweat, her very first instinct was to push through the discomfort, finish cleaning up the kitchen, and get herself together before she even thought about calling for help. But then, a memory surfaced, clear as day. Her doctor's emphatic advice. He'd always told her, "Carol, if you even think it's your heart, stop everything. Just sit down. Nothing else matters." Heeding that wise counsel, Carol gently lowered herself into her favorite recliner, propped her back comfortably with a cushion, and focused on breathing slowly and deliberately while she waited for the ambulance. Later, her medical team explicitly credited her decision to remain still with preventing a dangerous escalation of her symptoms, which allowed her to undergo treatment without complications. Number 5. Unlocking your door for emergency responders. Now, amidst any medical emergency, every single action you take, no matter how small it seems, can significantly impact how quickly and effectively you get the help you need. One step that's often overlooked, but is absolutely critical, is simply unlocking your front door for those emergency responders. If you'd managed to call 911 and you still able to move safely after getting into a comfortable, stable position, taking just those few seconds to unlock your door can make a profound difference. While it might feel like a minor task when you're facing a major crisis, those seconds are precious when time is of the essence, and a locked door, sadly, can delay life-saving treatment. This, my friends, is a simple, quick action that can directly speed up your care. You see, our emergency medical technicians, our wonderful EMTs and paramedics, they're trained to get inside, even by force if necessary. They have the tools to break down doors or windows. However, this process always introduces unavoidable delays. It causes property damage, and it can even pose risks. For instance, if you happen to be near the door, the sudden noise and force of them breaking in could startle you, potentially making your condition worse or even causing an injury. By unlocking your door in advance, you eliminate these obstacles, allowing responders to enter swiftly and begin administering care immediately. In some cases, this incredibly simple act can shave crucial minutes off the response time. Minutes that, as we've discussed, could be absolutely critical to your survival, especially with something as time-sensitive as a heart attack. For those of you who live alone, particularly in apartments, gated communities, or homes with those complex entry systems, pre-planning here is essential. Take a moment before an emergency ever strikes to consider the logistics of your home. Is your door easy to unlock and open from the inside, even if you're feeling stressed or weak? Do you have one of those deadbolts that requires a key, or is it a simple latch? Is your address clearly visible from the street, making sure responders can find your home quickly? If you're in a multi-unit building, is there a call box or a gate code that could slow down access? Some smart folks keep a spare key with a trusted neighbor or in a secure, accessible location, like a lockbox specifically designed for emergency use. Medical lock boxes, which hold a key and are accessible via a code provided to 911 dispatchers, are particularly useful for those of us with mobility challenges or who live alone. Let me share the story of David, a 76-year-old retiree who lived in a cozy little condominium. When he started experiencing chest pain and shortness of breath, he immediately recognized the signs of a potential heart attack. After calling 911 and chewing an aspirin, just as recommended, he made a quick decision to unlock his front door. He told me it took him less than 30 seconds, but it proved absolutely invaluable. When the paramedics arrived, they were able to walk right into his home without any delay, bypassing the need to force open a locked door. Later, the paramedics specifically noted that this one small action saved them approximately 30 seconds, precious time that allowed them to stabilize David and get him to the hospital faster. Reflecting on the experience, David admitted to me, "You know, in that moment, unlocking the door was the last thing on my mind, but I'm so glad I did it. It might have been the difference that kept me alive." Now, if you're unsure about your ability to reach the door safely, please prioritize your safety above all else. Moving around during a medical emergency can be risky, especially if you feel dizzy, weak, or unsteady. In such cases, stay seated, focus on slow breathing, and communicate your exact location clearly to the dispatcher. However, if you re-near the door and feel stable enough to unlock it without putting yourself in danger, doing so can be a truly proactive step that gives you immense peace of mind. For added convenience and safety, you might even consider investing in a smart lock with remote access capabilities, which allows you to unlock your door using a smartphone app, or even share temporary access with responders. Alternatively, that medical lockbox I mentioned can provide profound peace of mind, ensuring that responders can enter even if you're completely unable to reach the door. This seemingly small act of preparation sends a powerful message to that emergency team rushing to your aid. You've done everything in your power to help them help you. By removing those pesky barriers to entry, you pave the way for faster, more effective care, potentially making the difference between life and death. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 6. Using your phone speaker or medical ID features. During a medical emergency, my friends, your everyday smartphone transforms from just a device for chatting or looking at pictures into a truly critical lifeline. It connects you to help and provides vital information when you might not be able to speak for yourself. Two key features on most modern phones can significantly enhance their utility in a crisis: the speakerphone function and the medical ID feature. Using these tools effectively can streamline communication with our emergency responders and ensure they have exactly the information they need to provide the best possible care for you. These are free, easy-to-use tools that offer huge personal benefits for your safety and well-being. When you find yourself calling 911 during a suspected heart attack or a similar emergency, simply switching your phone to speakerphone is a brilliant yet incredibly effective strategy. Think about it. Holding a phone up to your ear requires physical effort, and that can be really taxing when you're experiencing symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, or just plain weakness. Speakerphone allows you to communicate hands-free, freeing you up to focus on what's most important: staying calm, breathing slowly, and following the dispatcher's instructions. This reduces physical strain, conserves your precious energy, and helps you concentrate on critical tasks like maintaining consciousness. Equally important, and perhaps less known, is your phone's medical ID feature. This is a built-in tool available on nearly all modern smartphones. On iPhones, you can find the medical ID accessible right from your lock screen via the Emergency SOS feature. Android devices offer similar functionality, often found within the emergency information settings. This digital profile allows you to store critical health information. We're talking your full name, date of birth, blood type, any allergies you have, your current medications, any medical conditions, and those all-important emergency contact numbers. If you were to lose consciousness or simply be unable to communicate when paramedics arrive, this information can literally guide their treatment decisions. It can potentially prevent dangerous errors and save vital time. It's truly like having a silent advocate speaking for you when you cannot. Let me tell you about Nancy, a wonderful 79-year-old woman who had diabetes and a severe penicillin allergy. When she suffered a heart attack, she managed to call 911, but sadly, she lost consciousness just before the paramedics arrived. Fortunately, Nancy had taken a few minutes to set up her phone's medical ID, which the responders, bless their hearts, were able to access right from her locked device. Within seconds, they learned about her diabetes, her allergy to penicillin, and her daughter's contact information. This quick access meant they could immediately avoid administering any penicillin-based medications, which could have triggered a severe allergic reaction, and they were able to notify her daughter right away. Nancy later told me, with tears in her eyes, that she credited her survival to this simple preparation, saying, "Doctor, I never thought something so simple could make such a big difference." Setting up your medical ID is a wonderfully quick process. It takes less than 5 minutes, really, but it provides lasting benefits. Just open your phone's health or emergency settings, input your details, and make sure the feature is enabled for lock screen access. Include all that key information. This preparation, my dear friends, is not just for our tech-savvy younger generations. It's for anyone who might one day need emergency care. By making good use of speakerphone and setting up your medical ID, you ensure that your phone serves as both a communication tool and a silent advocate, speaking for you when you cannot. In those critical moments, these features can bridge that terrifying gap between crisis and care, helping responders act swiftly and effectively, giving you the best possible chance for a positive outcome. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 7. Slowing your breath to steady your heart. When a heart attack strikes, the overwhelming sensations of pain, fear, and uncertainty can make it feel as though your body and mind are spiraling completely out of control. Your chest tightens, your pulse races, and pure panic threatens to take over every fiber of your being. In these terrifying moments, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is also one of the simplest, and it's completely free: your breath. By practicing controlled breathing, you can actually calm your nervous system, reduce the immense stress on your struggling heart, and significantly increase your chances of staying stable until professional help arrives. Now, I want to be very clear. This isn't a cure for a heart attack, but it is a vital way to manage the immediate crisis. You see, while controlled breathing won't magically reverse the underlying medical issue, it serves an absolutely critical purpose. It helps your body avoid escalating into full-blown panic or shock. When you're anxious and stressed, your body dumps adrenaline into your system. That adrenaline can accelerate your heart rate, make any irregular rhythms even worse, and potentially push your heart into truly dangerous territory. But by consciously slowing your breathing, you activate what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of this as your body's rest and digest system. It directly counteracts that frantic fight-or-flight response and promotes a much calmer physiological state. This shift can help maintain oxygen flow throughout your body, reduce the heart's workload, and even prevent dangerous complications like arrhythmias while you're waiting for emergency care. Here's a simple yet incredibly effective breathing technique you can practice right now and certainly use if you ever face such a crisis. It involves just a few steps. First, inhale slowly through your nose for approximately 4 seconds, allowing your chest to expand gently. Then, hold your breath for a brief moment, maybe just 1 to 2 seconds. And finally, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for 6 seconds, really focusing on releasing any tension with each breath. Just repeat this cycle, concentrating fully on the steady rhythm of your breathing. This method, sometimes called diaphragmatic or box breathing, gives you a focal point, something to anchor your attention to. It helps distract you from the panic, and it truly grounds you in the present moment. It's not about forcing incredibly deep breaths, but rather about maintaining a steady, controlled rhythm that feels natural and, frankly, quite comforting. As we wrap up, here's the big question. What's one commitment you're making today? Maybe set up my phone's medical ID or locate my aspirin stash. Share it in the comments. Let's motivate each other. If this inspired you, like the video to spread the word. Subscribe to join our community of thriving seniors. Don't miss the next tips. Think of one loved one who needs this. Share now. You could save a life. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, stay prepared. See you soon.